Hello again, Struck Club. November is almost here. That means there's a lot of new games incoming, and it could be a little arduous to try and find the right game for you, your next title to play. I've got 8 tactical games as suggestions for the month with this strictly special. Hopefully, some of those games are to your liking. Hopefully, at least one is to your liking. We've got 3D games, we've got 2D games, we've got semi-indie, we've got true indie games, very deep indie games, to be honest, for some of them, one-man projects and so on. So buckle up. I hope you enjoyed this list, and let's go. To kick things off, I will start with the game I am the most excited about, that I believe is the highest profile out of all of those games. Although all of them are kind of low profile, and they're not some big massive AAA titles, but Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, developed by AQUAPLUS, and apparently I couldn't find any information regarding other platforms that are not Steam. So as far as I could find, this game is coming only on Steam, at least for the time being. 16th of November 2022 is the release date, and it's a beautiful looking JRPG from veteran studio AQUAPLUS, commemorating 20 years of the multimedia Utavare Rumono series. Sorry if I butchered this name, Utavare Rumono series. This is the story of a man who will be sung about in legends. In the small province of Enakamui, on the frontiers of the great empire of Yamato, there lived a young man with his mother and sister. One day, at the local lord's behest, the young man was investigating a small irregularity when he encountered a girl he'd never met. The, word, the words the girl spoke were what shocked him. She told the man that his father was still alive. Seeing a trace of his father in her and resolving to learn the truth, the young man and the girl set out together towards the land of Arvashuan, a country that doesn't appear on the map. Faced with trials and perils, the boy chases his father. He meets new friends and comrades who join him on his mission. There will be struggles and victories and failures and partings. The fickle vagaries of fate will place an epoch in the young man's hands, and one day this man will be sung of in legends. And yes, they're different characters: Oshtor, Shunya, Munechika, Mikazuchi. All of them have been voiced over in Japanese. I think the game won't have English dubs, but again, this is a small studio, not big studio from DMM Games and Shiravyun. So Shiravyun is a subsidiary, if I'm not mistaken, to DMM Games, and AQUAPLUS is one of the studios who work for them. And again, the game looks beautiful, 3D, pretty solid graphics, especially the vegetation I've noticed looks amazingly well. Effects look nice, and what they're saying what in the promotional materials is that at the heart of an RPG is story. Hopefully, it's not too much story, too little combat and action and exploration like some JRPGs do. Because not everyone likes that. Some people love more combat, less story. So hopefully there's a good balance. Even if there isn't a good balance, I think it would still be fun. The battles look nice. The battles looks amazing, really well done. And yeah, it's gonna be definitely story war rich game, tactical turn-based party based JRPG game with strategy elements, and I'm not sure what the itemization and the character progression will be like, but soon we will know on 16th of November 2022. From here on onwards, I would present the games in chronological order of release date, starting with the game that is already out, released on the 21st of October 2022, developed and published by Only4Gamers, which seems to be some sort of strange website that posts all sorts of gaming-related news. I guess the owner of that website decided to make a studio, to make a game. Space Menace is a real-time sci-fi space exploration and space battle game. You play as a space captain, seeking fortune and glory as you see fit. Leave your mark on the world and determine the fate of the galaxy with your decisions. If I'm not mistaken, this is a single developer project. And for one such, it looks pretty solid. 2D space in early access, by the way. It will be early access. It already is in early access since the 21st of October. Single player game, but interesting mixes of strategy, of RTS, of top down, and open world exploration. It's real time with pause, but it's still tactical, real time tactics. So yeah, if it looks like something you might be interested in, you can already play the game. It costs €10 in my region, and there is also a demo on Steam, which I strongly recommend testing before you buy the game. Moving on to another early access title with a demo on Steam that, as far as I know, releases only on Steam. From Poking Water Games as developers and publishers, a true indie game comes from Australia called Pawsecuted. Pawsecuted is a brutal, slightly absurd tactical survival RPG. Play a rabbit escaping a koala run convict camp in a procedurally generated post-human apocalyptic world. Battle emus and her kangaroo mercenaries, scavenge supplies, gather and trade materials, recruit followers, and yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. A different world each time with dynamically spawned quests and encounters. The world was left devastated after the Great Mammal War. Search through the ruins of the Furless in a post-apocalyptic world. Create the tools of survival and help rebuild the society of the evolved. Hire mercenaries and convince followers to populate your outposts to join you or join you in battle. Consistent map transition as well. Time doesn't stop when you get into a fight. Long, drawn out battles will tire you out. Fight off venomous snakes, pistol-toting wallabies, and everything else trying to kill you. Or run away, that's fine too. Time only moves when you do think and plan ahead to avoid death. Makes activities during the night more dangerous. Line of sight, travel, search speed affected by the day-night cycle. There's also tag-based actions, extensive item tagging system that determines action available to you. Anything with an ignite tag can start a fire. Anything with a slice tag can make a sandwich. Story or sandbox. Follow the main storyline to find out more about the world or completely ignore it and wander the outback. There's also branching quests, multiple ways to complete quests, bribe a dog, complete a fetch quest, or beat him up to get answers. The world becomes more dangerous the further out you travel. You decide when you're ready. There's also modability. Data-driven design allows modders to create their own quest lines, enemies, equipment, items, and more. It looks like a solid piece of gaming that's coming out from Australia. I like that they're using koalas, kangaroos, and other things like that in there. And I think it's unique to anything else on this list. Actually, most of the games are completely different from the others in this list that I'm bringing to you. So the 2nd of November 2022 is when early access starts. But again, download the demo before buying it just to be sure it's your kind of game. Now we have another game that has a publisher. It's not a true indie. Camcore, the publisher, the developers are WorldWideSoftware. Silver Nornir, releasing on the 4th of November 2022. Can you change the repeating doomed fate of the world in a fantasy RPG? Is a tagline that they're giving us. This might be from a publisher that has funds and stuff, but this is not a high budget game. It's very classic looking JRPG with turn-based mechanics and tactics. So I do think it fits well in this list. I do think um, that many of you out there might want that classical experience and would love playing Silver Nornir. The 4th of November 2022 is when it releases, as I said. The world has been destroyed twice by the origin of chaos. The only survivors of the catastrophe will stand again to try to stop the world's end. Will the world follow its destiny or to be destroyed? Journey through the world with friends and allies and unfold new adventures, featuring a wide cast of characters, each with their own story to tell, an intense battle system that includes magic gems, special moves, and combo techniques with other characters, Silver Nornir boasts of everything an RPG has to offer. Collect useful items and unlock extra dungeons for additional enjoyment. Yeah, the tagline, the description, everything seems interesting. Visually, it looks like the nice kind of pixel art mixed in with regular 2D art for the portraits of the characters. Things that I cannot see are itemization. Is it pretty typical basic JRPG, old school JRPG system, or is it more advanced, like for example what we've seen in Stranger of Paradise, just for lack of other examples of advanced JRPG itemization? Time will tell. 4th of November 2022 is when you can play this as a full release. There is no demo for this one though. Moving on to the grimmer and darker side of things, Nadir or Nadir or Nadir, not sure how the right way to pronounce it is, but I'm gonna call it Nadir. Nadir, a Grimdark deck builder. It is a roguelike deck builder with a twist. The cost to play a card is an enemy reaction you can predict. Craft your own cards to slay powerful demons. Gather resources. Expand your city. Grow in power and conquer the underworld. Developed by Team Nadir Black Eye Games and published by Black Eye Games, who are the people behind the Gloria Victis and the Gloria Victis Siege Survival. So if you trust those developers, then you should trust Nadir. Nadir has a demo though, and I strongly urge anyone interested in the game to just go and download the demo, play it, test it, see for themselves if it's their kind of game. One thing that stands out, the obvious thing, is the art. It's amazing. It's great, at least in my taste. I like how this art catches the eye right away. And let's tell you a little bit more about the game. Engage in card battles where each of your cards can be played in two ways, depending on its color, blue or red. Balance between them to your advantage, but be careful as your every action changes the abilities of the enemy. Collect red and blue abilities on your journey and combine them into unique double cards, shaping the deck in your own way to prepare for upcoming challenges and survive as long as possible. Gather resources during expeditions to expand the city of Nadir and unlock new characters, cards, and vendors. Develop your underworld kingdom and increase your chances in future fights until you can beat the boss and unlock new scenes. And speaking of scenes, there's the deadly scenes. Each of the scenes brings their own set of enemies that greatly alter your game style. Learning it and developing a strategy to beat it is the key to building a powerful deck and surviving each fight. Watch your back on your way to the bottom of Nadir, taking time to admire its horrific look. It might feel familiar, from the wonders of the Divine Comedy to the saturated aesthetics of Sin City to the unforgettable design of Hellboy, yet not comfortable at all. Definitely something I think many of you might enjoy, especially now around Halloween. It would be very thematic to play something grim and dark. So yeah, if you're looking for a new roguelike deck builder with a twist, this is the game to keep on your radar. Coming on the 8th of November 2022. Moving on, we have something called Winter Falling Battle Tactics. Developed by Rarikos and 7A Games, published by Rarikos and Kurki.games. If I'm not mistaken, it was a single developer project, but those other studio names kind of throw me off guard, so I cannot confirm this. Lead troops, intense tactical battles, just you and your brain against the dying world. Manage a mercenary company, scavenge supplies, build an army. Go on a quest, burn down a village or two. Inspired by Warhammer, FTL, and Total War, um, Winter Falling Battle Tactics is coming as an early access game on the 8th of November. And as you see, it's again another extremely unique looking game with some mechanics that might be different to anything else out there, at least anything else on this list for sure. So whether it's your type of game, I wish there was a demo to recommend to try, but there isn't. If the price is right, maybe a lot of people will test it. I think it was gonna be $10 if I'm not mistaken. Out of which half goes to the developer, half to Steam. So yeah, command your army in battles. Battles play out in real time, but you can play at your own speed. Just pause and ponder. Plan your strategy outside battles. Manage your army on the world map. Will your troops be well fed? Will you loot cities to fill your chest? Craft your battles. Use the in-game map editor to create your own battles. Share them easily with a copy paste. Modding support is there as well. Create your own units, your own weapons, your own races. Inspired by the classics Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat, FTL Total War. And there isn't any more to go on about, so hopefully the little bit of footage and text I read about the game is enough to maybe encourage some of you to try it, or to at least keep it on your list and follow it until you feel like doing so. Moving on to another game that would be a great fit for Halloween playing sessions, Hellfire Tactics. It is a competitive multiplayer auto-battle strategy game. Experience intense 8-player matches while drafting from over 90 different units, all with their own unique effects on the game. Developed and published by Waffle Games, it's coming out as an early access game on the 10th of November 2022. And yes, it looks like an incredibly unique kind of PvP competitive auto battler game where you have 8 people battling it out. How exactly it plays out, I cannot tell you. Whether there's in-app purchases, I can confirm that, but what those in-app purchases are, I cannot. Whether someone gets an advantage or if it's just skins and no bullshit convenience or power boosting items or energy boosting or whatever else you can think of that is not a skin, I cannot confirm. If there's anything that is not a skin, then it's a strong pass. Maybe not a hard, but a strong pass. So far, it's only saying anything about the game coming to Steam. And as I mentioned, it will be early access, so it might most likely be buggy and so on. But it looks like a fun game. Let's tell you a little bit more about it. 25 plus archdemons to choose from, each with their own unique playstyle and combinations. Draft from 40 plus units in a shared pool amongst all players. 8 different unit clans, each with their own unique rules. Change your board. Linked units provide interesting placements to maximize your team. Hundreds of different ways to combine units to be victorious. Overpowered endgame units can make or break your strategy. Rare artifacts. Combine 3 of the same unit to gain a rare artifact. Artifacts can give board wide boost or allow for explosive combinations. Then there's also sacred rituals. Rituals allow for short-term buffs at the expense of mana. They can be the difference maker for your next fight. So yes, it looks good. It looks interesting. My only concern for an online PvP game is how the cash shop will be, where there will be anything that is not just purely cosmetic, whether there would be anything that gives you any type of advantage, be it storage, be it drop rates increase, be it resource generation boost and stuff like that. That may not be directly pay to win, but still make you progress faster than others and getting stronger faster than them and stuff like that, or just providing a quality of life. You should never charge people for quality of life. So that convenience bullshit should never be something you ask money for. So Hellfire Tactics, 10th of November 2022 as early access. For the final game on this list, I could not find any information. I could find a YouTube channel that had some gameplay footage. So it's short, since you will be seeing some screenshots and some of that footage, and then some screenshots and so on as I talk about it. But Bandit Realms, developed and published by Random Note Studio. Not sure if it's a single person. I think it's a single person making the game on Godot. I found some information on Reddit, but I couldn't find Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram to tag the person when I upload that video. So there wasn't much I could find about the game. A medieval turn-based strategy card game with a procedurally generated world map to explore and conquer. The person said on Reddit that he was originally inspired by Total War, where those squares, rectangles would be kind of the armies, but eventually it turned more of a card battle type of a game. So he's using two types of hex grid, as you can see. Hex grid for the world map, and then this rectangular hex grid style arrangement of the battlefield also is, I guess you could call it this not typical grid where it's all linear but messed up. Tactical card battles where cards, stats, type, and position matter. Procedurally generated world map to explore and conquer. Upgrade villages and build armies. Turn your rivals into your vassals. 5 factions to choose from with distinct cards. Special mercenary cards. Powerful aesthetics and relaxing soundtrack. Those are the features that have been listed on Steam. And that's the only thing that has been listed on Steam. There is no trailer. Again, that footage I found hopefully would be enough. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.